All right. I don't know what just happened there. I lost my live stream. Right when I noticed that I had someone on the live stream. That's funny. Let me see if I can get this thing back up again. I think I'm back. Am I back? Here we go. All right, there we go. I don't know what happened. I was pouring. Last thing I knew, I was pouring juice. So now I got my juice. I gotta turn that griddle down. I think it's starting to smoke. All right, hey there, Sam. I don't know what just happened. What juice was this? I'm trying to remember. I mixed up some apple kiwi strawberry concentrate juice earlier. I don't know why my stream just dropped. Like I was pouring juice. I looked over. I saw you'd commented, and then I looked at the camera and there's nothing there. And I was like, oh man, that's not good news. Let's make another pancake. Let's make another pancake here. We're making shallow fried. These are great. The pan is super hot right now, so I don't know how this is actually going to work out. A little bit of oil. Come in with pancake batter. There we go. That is really hot. I'm going to finish this one up while that's cooking. Gary and Berta, they're doing good. Gary's sleeping. He's actually been eating more lately, which I'm excited about. Berta's standing right next to me, looking sad. Oh man, yeah, that's cooking fast. I'm not sure why I'm having troubles with this live stream on my end. Am I still going? Yeah, I'm still going, but so, is that crisp? Woo! So good. So good! So yeah, it's just a little breakfast action. Didn't do much, just totally screwed up the water. I was supposed to put 2/3 of a cup, put 3/4 in apparently. I made an on-the-fly adjustment, which I think I was successful with. So we take a look at that. Oh yeah, look at that guy. Bam! Bam! A slamma jamma. A little butter. A little butter on that guy. Got melted a little bit. Oh, Bird, did you want a pancake? I'm sorry. I kind of forgot you were there. My pancakes were so good, I just eat them. Dog didn't get much of the first pancake, so she's a little upset. Have you tried sandwich with mashed salt, potato, and beans filled inside? No, I've never tried that. That sounds very English. We do have a sandwich here called a, what do they call it? Is it an old fashioned? I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, what it is it's like one piece of bread toasted. And I think you put like mashed potatoes and gravy on top and like a piece of meat or something. I only had it once. And the person that I was with when I had it was like in disbelief that I'd never tried it before. Like they were shocked. Right to the point they thought I was like messing with them. That's so good. See if I can get the dog in here without filming my dirty house. I need to clean my house today. Here we go. Don't be, yeah, no fork touch. Oh, did you drop it? Oh, you're just going for extra. Okay. I mean, yeah, mashed salt potatoes and the beans part sounds a little strange, but what I've found in life is I'm going to turn this stove off for a second, man. It's steaming over there. What I found in life is different people eat different things all over the world. It has a lot to do with what you were raised eating. I know that, like, a good example is culturally, some parts of the world do not like the flavor of cinnamon. And we'll be like, want some cinnamon? And they'll be like, what? Like, we have, here in America, we have a gum called Big Red. I love it. It's cinnamon flavored gum. I could eat it whenever I want to. It doesn't bother me at all. I think it's great. We have another gum that's called Blackjack. And it tastes like licorice, black licorice. And some parts of the world think black licorice is the best tasting flavor in the world. I think black licorice tastes like feet. I put cinnamon in everything almost even. Yeah, so where you live and where you were raised, cinnamon. It's awesome. Can't get enough cinnamon. I guess that comes from, like, the Scandinavian people. They just think cinnamon tastes weird. I don't know why. So I mean, not all Scandinavian, but some, like where I live, it's more, people like cinnamon more than blackjack. But there are people, not blackjack, licorice. There are people here where I live that eat black licorice flavor. They just are. But like the majority, it's weird. I never knew this, but I realized it later. But yeah, I like cinnamon. Cinnamon rolls. What do we got here? Only had some toast? Oh man! Toast! Toast is good. I like toast. Well, this is the easy breakfast. I mean, if you got time for toast, you got time for this, man. I'm telling you, shallow fried pancake. Woo! Shit is fire. I mean, the juice. Went a little overboard with fancy juice today, but, you know, it's the weekend. I'm celebrating. All right, which flavor tea? So, I mean, for me, I'm not a tea connoisseur, so I'll drink any tea, like, that's being served to me. My grandmother, on the other hand, she was into tea, and she drank some fancy tea, like young hyacinth green tea, which is like, it's the leaves of the tea when it's still small and green, and it's like kind of expensive. She loved that. Earl Grey. She drank all sorts of stuff. She used to buy it in bulk from the co-op. Just piles of tea. She was into tea, like way into tea, especially when she was younger. So we got here. Berta, I love Berta. I love Berta too. Here, get a little Berta shot. Berta, you're being loved. Berta, they love you. No, there's no food there. I'm not pointing to food. She's hungry. She's always hungry. So, anyways, thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for tuning in and appreciate my dog. I'll feed her some more pancakes as soon as this one's done. She loves pancakes. She's just standing here staring at the pancake. Like, why were you yelling? What was happening? Was there a pancake on the floor? So yeah, I mean, I'm sure the tea we have here in America, like, it's like everything else. It's Americanized. Like, our tea comes majority. I mean, you get loose leaf tea for people that like hardcore tea totalers or tea sippers or whatever. And you get your own little container to put it in. But for the most part, our tea... I have some tea up here. Let me grab some tea. Like, here's my bulk tea. I mean, that's my tea, which is just... It's called Louisiane. Tea bag included. You just... Bloop! The instant cup of tea right there. Instant cup of tea. And I don't even know what kind of tea that really is. Technically, it's probably a black tea, if I had to guess. It's caffeinated. I drink tea in the wintertime when it's cold out, because I use it to like warm up when I'm chilly. Like if I've been out snow blowing or something, or out messing in the cold, it's like, oh, I'm freezing. Just like, oh, dude, make some tea real quick, and I got an electric kettle I can throw on, boil up some water real quick, and make tea. I usually put honey in my tea. So I buy, well, this time I got this. It's a member's mark from Sam's Club, but we've got, it's kind of weird. My hometown's got It's actually a cooperative where they I actually don't even know what they do there. Oops, I already put the butter on. What am I doing? I'm thinking. They gather honey from all over and they bottle it up for other companies. And I think it's the world's largest honey cooperative on the planet Earth. And yeah, they move a lot of honey through there. And like a lot of people don't realize how much honey comes through that building, but it's crazy the amount. So I used to try to get my honey through them, but I don't know. Sometimes when you're out of honey, you need honey. I know a guy's a beekeeper. I just used up all his honey, and he had some serious honey. Like he had some stuff where like, I'm not even joking. He told me, I'm going to give you this honey. If you cook with this honey and I find out, I will never give you honey again because it was like fancy honey. I didn't realize there was like different grades of honey. Like so in the honeycomb, different areas of the honeycomb have different qualities of honey. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since he talked to me about it. It's like the Queen's Special or whatever. I can't remember what it was. And oh, come on, bird. Oh, I want to get you on camera. There you go. Yum yum. So I just used all that up, so I had to go buy some money. All right, sorry, we got some chats here. Why isn't Bert a fat? She eats all the human food like pancakes and sandwiches. It's because I let her out to run whenever she wants. Like that came up the other day with that video I had, my dog on the chain thing. People got all upset about that. Yeah, she's hooked to a chain, but the chain's on a zip line that goes 100 feet. And at any moment, when my dog wants to go outside, she goes to the door and she barks. I get up and I hook her up and she goes outside. She runs around wherever she wants for as long as she wants, comes back to the door, barks, comes in. And if she decides 3 minutes later she wants to go back outside, she goes to the door, barks, and I let her out. She gets unlimited outs, all she wants. So she's always out running around, chasing things, barking at deer. You know, she's got a huge running area. That's just the front yard. Like that's right off the room I watch television in. So I'm sitting there watching TV. Like dog wants out, dog goes out instantly. All she wants. All right, here we got more comments. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Different countries have different routines. For example, I've never tasted a pancake, but I believe you've never had a pancake? Oh my God! What are we gonna do? That is terrible. We got to get you a pancake right away. You've got a beehive? Oh, I'm kind of jealous of that. I thought about getting beehives. Actually, what I thought about doing was getting a guy with beehives to bring beehives here to my house. All right. Yeah, Mikey, no doubt. No, I agree. This maple syrup right here, there's nothing maple about that at all. This is just high fructose corn syrup trash. And it is a travesty that I'm actually eating it, but this is what I have on hand right now. I just ate up all my maple syrup the other day. Actually, I didn't eat it up. It molded on me. Like I opened it up to look inside. It was full of mold inside. I was like, ah! And I need some syrup immediately. And I had this on hand as my emergency syrup. But yeah, that's garbage syrup. It tastes pretty good though. And that tea, I mean, I don't think that's bad quality tea. It's just consumer bulk tea, you know. It's not like a. I don't think it's an inferior tea. It's just like a. It's not a high end tea. It's like just a general. Here's tea. I mean, I have more tea. What, you want to see the rest of my tea? I feel like I've been letting my team down here with my weak tea. Let's see what we got here for teas. I gotta reach up top. I got some stuff that'll probably make you freak out. All right, we got a little Celestial Seasons Tangerine Orange Zinger. These ones are no string. That's fancy. No string attached. That's how you know you're getting into the fancy teas. Those are probably pretty old, actually. I'd still eat them. We got some Pomegranate Raspberry Tea. These are individually wrapped. So, like, that's a little dusty. A little dust on that guy. So, there's that tea. That's a little fancier. Oh man, I gotta stretch to get clear up here. Oh, this is a caffeine-free herbal peach. I don't even know. Oh, there's only like one left. There's one in the box. Jeez, why you got the whole box up there? What we got here? More raspberry zinger. Did I ever have a raspberry zinger? Oh, it's a tangerine orange zinger. So that's another zinger. Zinger! And those are zing zing. So I think that's the extent of my tea collection. What else I got up here? I got some Kool-Aid. This is just like a sugar drink. Tastes like pink lemonade. You just add a bunch of sugar to it. And some old milk chocolates. That's 6 ounces of hot water. You pour that in, you got instant hot chocolate. That's pretty good. Now that I completely undid my whole cabinet up there, we'll deal with that later. All right. We'll check the comments again. Here we go. Where are we at? Comments were made by the kinds which did not have. Well, no, I get that. I get that the chain thing on the dog, but it's like hard for me to show that. Like, I don't know. I get my feelings hurt a little bit. People are like, you're abusing your dog. It's like, dude, my dog is so unabused. Like, on the scale of abused to not abused, my dog is past unabused. Like, my dog has a better life than I do. I'll be honest with you. All right, what's next? Does Birdie howl at night, and will you get another dog? I'm only doing one dog at a time. I can't deal with two. Like, it's a lot. Dealing with a dog is a lot of responsibility. It's way more than a cat. Like, it's basically a kid that doesn't grow up to help mow the lawn, is what it is when you get a dog. Does Birdie have a boyfriend? I mean, Toe Shifter has got a dog named Tank. That's kind of Birdie's boyfriend. She kind of dominates him because he's a little bit older. She'll like jump on his head and push him to the ground and stuff, but that's about all that is. She doesn't howl. She only howls with the. She only howls when the fire department comes by. Just she goes nuts. Just for the fire trucks. She'll bark. So like, I mean, I'm not sure if it shows in the videos, but like, if this is the street level, my yard goes up, and then it's higher than the street, so she can overlook. Like, I'm on a valley, and the people to the left of me, they have dogs. The people across the valley have dogs, and some people down the road have dogs. So she thinks her job is to see something and then notify the other dogs in the neighborhood that something's going on. That's my dog's goal in life, is to notify the other dogs that there is a potential intruder. My dog doesn't bark at anything, but that could be a good thing. I mean, if you're into, like, I don't know, sleeping, it's just like, if it's a guard dog, ooh, that might be a little challenging. I don't know if you have a guard dog or not, but dogs. Oh, what's the matter? What's the matter? I don't know if you guys just heard my dog's sad little whip. She just did a little whip. That was her, I'm out of water. Did you guys hear that? She went, little chirp. Here you go. Have some water. There you go. Sorry. Anyways, speaking of that, my dog doing a little weep. That was one thing I never realized. Oh, you did hear it. Yeah, that's how my dog tells me her water bowl is empty. That little sound she just made. She's got all these different sounds to notify me of things. She's got the water bark. She's like, I want to go outside bark. She's got I want to go outside because it's an emergency bark. She's got the I see an animal bark. She's got I see a human bark. An intruder, and that's crazy. When it's like crazy. She goes deep down in the bowels of her vocals for I see a human. That's the one that's like, ooh, maybe I should get something to protect myself when I hear that bark. It's like, ooh, that's serious. But yeah, she's a pretty good guard dog. I don't know if she would actually attack anybody though. She'd definitely bark at them. She might. I don't know. I don't know if that's hot enough for this next. I turned this off because it was starting to smoke. We'll do a little bit. We'll do a little bit. Let's see if it bubbles. Ooh, it's frizzle frazzling. So you guys ever seen anybody do like this is gonna be terrible. Well, that was my attempt at 2 eyes and a nose. Man, I'm bad at this. You could do faces and pancakes, which there are people who have taken it to a level that is like, I can't even describe how good they are. There's people who can do like portraits in pancakes. Yeah, that temperature's a little low. All right, let's see what we got here. If Snow Clumps posts videos of Birdie in the snow, oh, Birdie loves the snow. I got some videos of her playing in snow on my channel. You go up to like the search part where like the little magnifying glass is. You can see Birdie in the snow. Yeah, pancake art is cool. I was gonna try to do a smile face and I just totally made a hackery job out of that. Oh, that's my dog barking to go outside right there. You guys watch the pancake. Watch that cook. Don't let that burn. Don't let that burn. Hold on, birds. All right, I'm back. Did it burn? Did the pancake burn? Did you watch it? Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, this is cooking slowly. That's a giant pancake too. It's an ugly pancake. Alright. Probably isn't the best thing to do. And yeah, I see old videos of her. Yeah, catch a frisbee in the snow. So she's got a thing that I and her call a surfbird. Is when I hold her, I throw the frisbee, it lands, and she'll run and do like a death pounce. That's like how dogs kill small stuff. They stomp on it. Well, she'll stomp the frisbee, then run and do like a sliding in the snow. It's called a surfbird. Oh, yeah, no. I wouldn't normally walk away from something cooking, but the front door is right there. Plus, you guys were watching it, so, like, it was totally safe. Totally safe. But, yeah, no, I'll have Berta out in the snow. Oh, not crispy. I ruined that pancake. Ruined! Oh, well. Oh, we got a big one there. What's this say? There's a Twitch live stream in which the streamer left the pot and arrived a few minutes only to see the whole kitchen was on fire. Luckily, he jumped out of the window. Well, that's why I'm not a Twitch live streamer. If I came back from letting my dog out and my kitchen was on fire, what I would do, I wouldn't jump out the window. I would open this box with a fire extinguisher in there, and I would put the fire out. I'm not gonna let my house burn down because I'm cooking a pancake. I mean, I realize everybody's got their own level of what they're comfortable doing, but yeah, no, I'd put the fire out. That's what I'd do. Then right around the corner, I've got another fire extinguisher bigger than that one, and then I've got a fire blanket, and then I got welding blankets that I can smother. Depending on the type of fire, you know, oil fire, you don't want to put water on oil fire, it'll just burn your whole house down, so you want to smother that with a specialized fire blanket. I'm trying to think, do I have that? It might be mounted. I don't know if I can bring that in. Let me see here. Yeah, it's a little dusty. Get a little dust on my pancake. And just right outside my kitchen, fire blanket right there. Bam. Just instant fire smother situation. Safety first, right? So yeah, I learned a long time ago about safety. You don't want to mess around. You want to have the things to put your stuff out. So these pancakes, this one I just cooked was ruined. I didn't have the oil hot enough. So with the shallow fry, it fries the outside around the edge. But look at that smile face. Yeah, I didn't have the temperature up high enough. But you get a crispy edge and it's fluffy on the inside. It's like a best of everything in life. Wow, it's the best. I mean, it's pancakes. Can you tell how to protect if someone had tried to rob you with a gun in your own house? I wouldn't recommend that at my house. I wouldn't recommend bringing a gun here because you'll be outgunned probably, if I had to guess, depending on how many you bring. I don't talk about that very much on my channel because it's no one's business. But yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend breaking into my house ever. That will not end well. I can assure you. You go rob somebody else before you come rob me. But anywho, enough of that. This is not that kind of a channel. We talk about nice things here. But best way to protect yourself, I think, is a dog. I mean, unless someone's coming to hurt you, if that's their goal, in life. Someone wants to come actually hurt you. I mean, good luck with that. If someone's coming to rob you, they just want your stuff. And what they're going to do is try to figure out when you're not home. And then they're going to come to your house when you're not home. If they're going to, I mean, if someone's trying to, like, take your possessions and they know you're home, like, that's dangerous because that person has no regard for their own safety. It's like a dog is a good thing. The person, they'll case your house, so what they'll do is they'll come up to your door and, like, obviously ring the doorbell. And when you don't answer, they know you're not home. But if your dog's like, bark, 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 they're like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. Because why would you want to get bit by a dog, potentially, when you go to somebody else's house with no dog? But I've also read, like, I don't know, like on Reddit or whatever, they have people like, I'm a former burglar. And then someone was like, they were doing Ask Me Anythings. The guy's like, oh no, we just bring dog treats. He said almost most domestic pet dog would just eat a biscuit and want his belly rubbed. Thinks that you're his buddy. So I don't know what to tell you. Let's see. Have you watched the movie Hush, in which the writer girl is deaf and mute and tries to stop an intruder? No, I haven't seen that. That'd be challenging. Yeah, my dog's super fierce. Like, that's why I don't think she would actually do much. Alright, my dog is barking to be let in right now. See how that works? Now she's like, I want in. So we're going to do this. We're going to give you one of these to watch. You watch my pancake and the spinner. As I go rescue the beast. Come on. So, speaking of like leaving the stove on or whatever, I got a pretty funny story. Not funny. A pretty wild story about that. And I'm off. Oops. Off. So when I was in college, I had a buddy who had an apartment. And we used to go to the bars on the weekends and during the week sometimes too. But one night, this kid that I was going to school with, he had some friends over to his house before he went to the bar. And another kid I knew lived in the same apartment. And we just happened to, we were hanging out with each other that night, whatever. We were, I was in one apartment hanging out with a group of people, and this other kid was in his apartment hanging out with, but we knew each other. We were going to meet at the bar. And, like, we're hanging out, and all of a sudden, like, I can remember, I don't think we heard an alarm, but, like, all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom on the door. It's like, what is going on? The fire department's like, there's a fire! Evacuate the building! I'm like, whoa! The apartment's on fire. The apartment building's on fire. And like when that happens, you can kind of figure out where the fire is or whatever. And we figured out it was my other buddy's apartment. And what had happened, and we talked to the fire department. They kicked the door in and they fire extinguished the whole apartment out and just bombed it all out. Well, what happened was, and this tells you how old I was or am. You could still rent videos and DVDs at the time. They had rental stores. He had left a plastic bag full of DVDs on the stove next to the counter. His stove had the controls right here on the front. Someone had leaned against them and turned the burner on, and then they left for the bar, turning the burner on, cooking the DVD, lighting it on fire. So we're like, well, that's crazy. They gave the all clear. They had to like evacuate the smoke out with big fans, but get all the smoke out of the building. We went down to the bar to find the kid because he didn't know his apartment had burned. We found him. He was like, dude, your apartment burned. And he's like, what? We're like, yeah, your apartment was on fire. The fire department came and like put the fire out, and he didn't believe us. He's like, whatever. And then we're like, no, we're being serious. Like, your apartment lit on fire, and the fire department came in and kicked your door off its hinges and just like fire extinguished your whole apartment. Like, bombed the whole, like, after trying to explain this to this kid for like, I'd say 20 minutes probably, he still didn't believe us. Finally, we're like, dude, we swear to God. We swear to God. And finally, like, fine, I believe you. And he's like, nothing I can do about it. He just stayed at the bar and drank until close. And then when he came home that night, drunk from the bar, no door on his front door of his apartment, kicked off the hinges, apartment wide open, and just like foam and water over everything in his apartment. Oh, that's crazy. Have I witnessed a tornado? Oh, I've seen a tornado. I've drove through a tornado one time, a couple times actually. It's crazy. I was coming back once from Minneapolis one time in my truck. I'm driving down the road, and I see these cars, and the weather's fine. And I look over to the right, and I see, and I took a photo of it. It's one of the greatest photos I ever took. A tornado on the horizon at sunset. And I got a photo of it. It's amazing. It's like, oh, it's so crazy, an actual tornado. Drove for another 20 minutes, and all of a sudden I'm listening to the radio. They're like, oh, terrible weather warnings. Take cover, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the way they do warnings up in my part of the world is they do it by county. They don't name the city. They do the counties. Well, I was in like Minnesota or northern Iowa or something. I don't know where I was. Someplace where I didn't know the names of the counties. So I had no idea. It's like, am I in that county? What's happening? Am I driving towards it? And this was like pre-smartphone, so I couldn't look it up. I had a cell phone, so I called my parents, and I was like, I'm driving back, and they're calling tornadoes in these counties. I don't know where I am or whatever. And they're trying to look it up in a book or whatever, and like, it was nuts. I get to this small town and come through, the tornado sirens start going off. Woo! And it's just like the end of the world. Dark, the wind. And I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know where to go, but I'm just going. So I was just like, I'm out of here. Going like 80 miles an hour through town, running red lights. My truck's like getting blown around, like literally blowing my truck. Like it was the scariest shit I ever did in my life. Luckily, I didn't drive straight into the tornado, but my idiot self probably could have. I mean, it was just pure luck that I didn't. I survived it. And then for Christmas that year, my parents thought, because I almost got hurt in a tornado, it'd be funny to buy me this toy tornado thing that you spin around. That's the kind of humor they have. Yeah, I almost get tornado and they buy me a toy tornado. One time I got stung in the face by like a whole nest full of like stinging wasps. So they bought me a wasp catcher thing. Like, yeah, it's pretty good times. Let's see here. Well, that's not my only tornado story. So where I live, I'm in a valley, and there was a tornado like 2 miles north of me, and I could hear it. And that was crazy, because I was just hanging out at my house, and that, like, a tornado sounds like a freight train. Just like, because it's just like ripping through stuff. Probably the scariest one I ever did was, there was a huge, there was a huge tornado, I mean a big time tornado, near Moore, Oklahoma. That was probably close to 10 years ago. I had gone down to Austin, Texas to see an IMSA GTP Le Mans style race at Circuit of the Americas, and we were driving back. And I had my brother and my dad with me, and my brother had a new smartphone that had like live weather on it. And we knew there was some bad weather in the area. So he had live radar going. He's like, dude, this thing is huge. We got to get out of here. And it's like, well, which way do we go? And he's like, I think if we go now and we go fast, we can get in front of the storm. And we were going through Moore, Oklahoma when this thing came through. And I'm not even joking. It smoked the whole town. I mean, it leveled it, like houses to foundations, tore churches down, tore hospitals, schools, everything. Now, you Google Moore, Oklahoma tornado. I drove through that shit. We were going like 100 miles an hour on the interstate. My dad was actually driving. I was scared shitless. I just bought my brand new car. He was driving. We couldn't stop. We couldn't pull over. It was like drive or get in the thing. We're going north and this thing's coming this way. Like, rah, this weather. And we just went right past the edge of it. It was crazy. That's a true story. I'm not making that up at all. And then I ended up coming back down to Texas like a month later. And we toured more and looked at all the damage. And it was like, oh my God. That thing almost took us out, dude. It was crazy. That was like the closest I've ever come to really getting like, ooh, that was a bad one. Yeah, I must drive faster. My old man, he was going as fast as he could. I swear to God, we were 3 inches off the car in front of us. Everyone was just like, wow! We were just flying. Some people were pulling off. The water was like insane. Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, yeah. Trek 3913, we must have missed it by 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah, if that's who I think you are. Yeah, you were in the car probably with me. She was crazy. All right, what else we got? But, no harm, no foul, right? I think that's all my tornado stories. Oh, there's another one. The house my dad built for his family when he was in his early 20s was on kind of the top of a hill. And they had a tornado go over the house. And that house had a giant fireplace. I mean, a big-time fireplace, bigger than normal. And basically what a tornado is a giant low-pressure system, just like super low pressure. Well, when this tornado went over the house, it created such a pressure differential between inside the house and outside the house. A bunch of air had to leave the house to try to equalize, and every loose paper in the house got sucked up the chimney, just like a vacuum, just right up the chimney. Every loose paper in the house just right up the chimney. Wait, there's more tornado stories. Yeah, I live in tornado country. There's always more tornado stories. Yeah, that's crazy. Like we have alarm, like they do monthly tests. The first day of the month, they test the tornado sirens. You're supposed to go in your basement. But yeah, tornadoes are crazy, man. That and like, I'd say between the tornadoes and the blizzards are pretty bad. When the snow comes down, you can't see anywhere. Especially when you get out in the country, it's like, dude, that's just scary out there. Back in the good old days when there was like just people living on farms, during a blizzard, people would just walk out of their house and never come back because they get disoriented. They couldn't find their way back to the house. So what a lot of people do is like, yeah, straight line winds, that happens too. Downdrafts. We had a big one here, like 20 years after the downdraft, where like this huge just gust of wind came out of nowhere and just, whoa, like knocked a bunch of stuff down. It's like, what was that? So, that was just a big old downdraft. Like, oh my God. It's wild. Floods. We get floods up here too. We have a river. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say we don't have earthquakes here because I don't want to jinx myself. Supposedly one of the biggest fault lines there is kind of right underneath me, but they claim it's what do you say? Non-active anymore. It doesn't. That one doesn't do anything anymore. I'm thinking, oh, I bet it doesn't. But you must do a Q&A. I think we're doing a Q&A right now, bud. That's kind of what we're doing here. I eat my breakfast. I'm gonna finish my coffee. I'm gonna have one more cup of coffee. Yeah. But I don't know. I like where I live. I'm looking out the window right now. I don't know if I can show you this. I'll try. I'm just sitting here eating. I gotta cover this up because everything's dirty over here. I don't know if I can get you to see that or not. Oh, it's hard to tell, but like, man, why won't this adjust? It's my dirty window. Right there is a deer. Can you see it? Where'd he go? He was just there eating. This is my kitchen window. Sorry, it's so crooked I got on a tripod. He's right behind that bush. I just saw him, but like I look out my window and I just see like deer and stuff. So that's kind of cool. Like that video I put the other day of the 7 deer. I shot that just like yesterday. Just pulled my truck up and there's just 7 deer hanging out right there. They're all looking for something to eat before winter. So the wildlife is pretty cool here. Yeah, we got raccoons. Let's see my raccoon story. I was hanging out by my lower garage. Let's see, what can I do here? I could probably just turn this around. Let's see here. Oh! Why does that keep falling down? Oh, looking at my cabinets! So, I got my winter cap on. It's a little cold in my house right now. So the best raccoon story I have is, I was in the lower garage. Oh, why is this so just crazy? And I was just sitting on like a chair, just hanging out. I was just like, I don't know, I was on my phone, just doing my thing. And the old maroon truck was parked on the side of the garage there. And I was hanging out, and all of a sudden, I look up, and a mama raccoon and like 5 of her babies is just walking out probably 10 feet away from me. And they don't even know I'm there. And I just go, hey! And they all just stop. They look at me, and they just slowly start creeping backwards. I thought that was a pretty good one. The mulberry tree in the front yard, the raccoons are always eating there. Sometimes I'd go for a bike ride when it was late at night and come home at like 1 in the morning on a bike, and there'd just be a big fat raccoon just sitting there eating mulberries. And it's like, hey, raccoon. And he's just like, hey, you, I'm eating mulberries. Do you want some of these? I mean, that mulberry tree, I've been within 3 feet of a deer at the mulberry tree once. I was like holding a branch, pulling it down for someone to eat mulberries off of. And they're like, dude, turn around. I'm like, what? And like, just look. And I turn around, there's just a deer. Like, if I had a knife in my hand, I could have just jumped and stabbed the deer in the head. That's how close the deer was. And the deer was just like, you're eating mulberries, we're eating mulberries, everybody's eating mulberries. No big deal. Let me check the chat here. Give me 1 second here. Sorry. Okay, but what's the secret? What's the secret of the cabinets? Oh, it's just a joke. You want to see my cabinets? I'll show you my cabinets. It's like generally it's like you're not supposed to look at people's cabinets, right? Like, or their drawers. So this is just my cups. I got big cups on this side. Ooh, where am I aiming? Big cups on that side. Pint glasses down here. Coffee cups go there. This is some like measuring cooking stuff, and then like I got some let's see, stainless steel coffee cups and like big mugs for like doing root beer floats and stuff. A&W's a root beer company. But now when I say don't look at my cabinets, that's just a joke. Don't look at my cabinets. Let's see what else we got here. What's a mulberry tree? Okay, so a mulberry tree is just a regular tree. I believe it would be called a hardwood tree. But it grows these fruits on them that are like about that big. And these fruits are super delicate. Like, just in the process of picking them, they'll burst a little bit, and you'll get this, and they're bright purple, super deep purple. They stain, but just they're so delicate when you pick them, they'll pop open, the juices will start running. So you can't. There's like really no way to like pick them, package them, and sell them. It would be impossible. I mean, you'd have to like have a tray of like tissue paper and have someone with like tweezers laying them down in tissue paper, and then drive straight to the store and be like, mulberries for sale. So you have to eat them. You have to eat them fresh right off the tree. And I've got a couple mulberry trees here, and they taste really good. They're super sweet and they're yummy, and like the fruit's abundant. It grows crazily. So you just mulberry trees, and everything likes to eat them. I like to eat them. The deer like to eat them. The squirrels eat them. Everything eats mulberries. If you can reach them, eat them off the tree. If not, you have to wait till they fall to the ground. That's how it works. And I got a huge mulberry tree in the front yard. I got a albino mulberry tree in the backyard, and then there's some other mulberry trees kind of floating around. Let me check the comments real quick. Yeah, so I think the way that it works is they use I think it's in Japan, they grow mulberry trees, and then the worm eats the mulberry leaves, I believe, and they harvest the silk. Oh yeah, when they fall to the ground, yeah, they just mush out, but animals will still eat them. It's still a buffet. It's not like a full fruit though. It's like they're really weird. They're like scalloped. They're little tiny, like what would be the best way to describe it? Not like a bunch of grapes, because like a grape's on a vine that's got a bunch of little fruits on it. But think of a grape cluster compacted down into a little tiny thing like the size of my deal, real pack. It's kind of like that, where it's these little individual packets. It's like textured almost, but if you actually got in there, they're like little like encapsulated. What's for breakfast? We had coffee. We made apple, kiwi, strawberry juice. And we shallow fried some buttermilk pancakes. We missed out. It was killer. I screwed the recipe up. I didn't read I put 3/4 a cup rather than 2/3 and made it too watery, and had to do an on the fly adjustment. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then I think I shouldn't say just Japan, but like I think major silk production is made from the silkworm, and I think they eat mulberry leaves. I think that's pretty traditional. I think you make paper out of mulberry too. No, we just went with regular vegetable oil. There was no bacon grease left over after my last bacon cooking. I fried my eggs in it. I almost live streamed that, but I didn't want you guys to watch me eat a half a package of bacon and like 8 eggs at once. I was looking at Squid Game. I kind of started to, but like, I know. I mean, it's overdubbed in English, but it always weirds me out when like the lips don't match. But like everyone's talking about it, so yeah, I'll probably end up watching it. Yeah, someone was asking if Berta had a boyfriend, and I said, well, Tank maybe, but if that's true, it's probably an abusive relationship because Berta just like bow, 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 beats Tank up, just jumps on his head, pushes him to the ground. Tank's just like, dude, can everybody just calm down, man? I'm just a dog. I just want to hang out. And Berta's just like, let's fight. And just like, she's out of control. What do we got next? What movie am I going to watch? Let's see. I could watch a movie tonight. What am I going to watch? I'm trying to think what I watched recently. I watched Waterworld the other day. I'd never seen it before. Like, how did that happen? Yeah, he just comes over to poop. Yeah, he does. Just takes a dump right where you're walking. Yeah, I watched Kevin Costner's Waterworld for the first time in my entire life. I think the reason I never watched it when it first came out is that they made such a big deal about how it was like the most expensive movie or something. I'm just like, dude, I am watching that. Let's see. Do you have local football or singing teams? Like a choir? Yeah, exactly. We don't have real big professional sports league where I am because I live right next to nowhere in the United States. Like just like 5 miles that way is where nothing starts. Like the absolute armpit of nothing is just over that way. We're right on the edge of nothing. A duck trolling retriever, huh? Just trolls the ducks? Or it swims like a troller. It's just like your dog just sits in the corner and just shit talks the ducks. Like, hey, duck! Nice quack! It's just trolling them. I assume it's a swimming troller. I'm trolling your trolling comment. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm leaning over. But yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, the local football. We've got a semi-pro baseball team here. I really don't go to those games very much. We've got a junior A hockey team, which would be like either like super talented high school hockey players or kids that are going to college, and then like it's like a kind of like a pre-farm league for NHL. Like that's pretty cool. But yeah, there's no real big. I mean, you got to go south a couple hours, Kansas City, or you got to go north a couple hours to Minneapolis, or you got to go to Chicago, which is like 5 hours away, or you got to go to like Denver, which is like 7 hours away. So like where I live, between me and Denver, that's like the armpit of the United States where there's nothing. Like there's literally nothing out there. Just I don't even know what happens out there. Just nothing. It's just a big bunch of nothing out there. Fields. I suppose there's some farmers or something, but like that's not even really good farmland. Like in Nebraska, like there's just a bunch of like cattle or something. I don't even know. Like true story. One time in my life, not one time, multiple times, but one of the times in my life, I guess when I was younger, I did it more often. I used to take month-long vacations. Just take a month off and just go do something fun. And I did a road trip for a month one time across the western part of the United States. And of that 30-something days I was driving, only one day did I almost fall asleep, and that was driving across Nebraska. This shit's so boring. There's nothing there. You're just like, ugh, just holding the wheel, like trying to stay awake. Oh, God. There's nothing to see, nothing to do. Like, there's like a McDonald's. There's nothing there. Sorry if you live there and I hurt your feelings, but you live there and you know there ain't nothing there. Which sucks because like I get a bad rep because where I live is so close to there that people think where I live there's nothing going on. Well, I live in like an amusement park compared to that part of the country because that part of the country is just thumbs down. All right. Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely entertaining. No doubt about that. Yeah, it's kind of like, well, so basically what it is if you imagine the United States and you got, California on one side, New York on the other side, when you start coming across, you hit the Rocky Mountains, which is a giant set of mountains. Well, when the weather hits that, the precipitation drops out because of the elevation change, and all that snow drops in the mountains. So once the weather or the clouds go over the mountains, they're dry. So there's nothing to happen there. Well, that's after the mountains. That's Nebraska, and there's just nothing there. There's no rain comes down, not a lot. I mean, it does a little bit, but it's not like the Sahara Desert, but like it's pretty dry. It's a phenomenon that happens everywhere there's a mountain range. I mean, you go to Oregon, which is on the coast of the United States. One side of the mountains, wet. Oregon, wet. Other side, dry, because all the water drops out going over. So as it comes across Nebraska and like South Dakota and all that, it's pretty dry. And then like by the time it gets to where I live, it's the weather or the air is gone far enough where it can like start picking up some more moisture, and then it's like regular again. So yeah, like I live right on the edge of where it's like, no, you don't want to go there, and like, oh yeah, it's gonna be green. That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, kind of a wasteland. I mean, the Nebraska part's weird because it's very flat. You can get up into South Dakota, and that's a little more interesting because the geology of the land is more interesting. It's more varied, and it's kind of crazy. They call it the Badlands because like it's all eroded and looks all crazy. That's kind of cool to drive across. I'm not going to go there and take photos. It just looks like here. I'll tell you what it looks like. You get one of these. You get yourself a frying pan, and you turn it over. There you go. There's Nebraska right there. Flat as a frying pan. And then like, so the Iowa gets associated with that, but Iowa's not flat. Iowa's rolling hills. It's the rolling hills of Iowa. It's like meanders around. Yeah. I'll tell you why, because I've rode my bike across Iowa before, and I can assure you it is not flat. If you think Iowa's flat, get a bicycle and ride across. I'm talking about Berta and Gary photo. You guys want to see Gary? I'll grab Gary. Oh, come here, Gary. What are you doing, bud? Internet wants to see you. There's little Gary. What do you think, bud? He was eating. He's a little upset. Gary, you got a dirty nose. So the other day, Gary was hanging out in the kitchen, and one of my mouse traps went off, and the mouse got caught with its foot. Its foot was in the mouse trap. That's it. I didn't know this. I just heard a commotion. You hear the mouse trap go snap, and then you hear like clunk, 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 clunk. And I'm like, what's going on? You got boogies? You got boogies, bud? Anyways, I walk out, and Gary's got the mouse in his mouth with the mouse trap attached to the mouse's foot. And I'm like, Gary, did you catch your mouse, bud? And he looked so pissed. He spit the mouse out on the ground. The mouse was kind of twitching there. He picked it back up and just, he doesn't usually do that. He just chomped the living tar and just, I was like, good boy. It was like, he wanted a treat. Well, old Gary. Poor fella ain't getting any younger. He got pretty sick for a while back in July. He's starting to put a little weight back on. He's been eating pretty good, but I thought I was going to lose him. He just was not doing good. He's mangled now. He's cold and angry. Aren't you, bud? You dirty nose. What have you been rooting in? You been down in the basement? All right, I'm going to put him down. Well, he just meowed a little bit right there because his claws... Yeah, my cat doesn't meow. It's weird. So, like, Gary was an orphan, too. So, like, when I got him... I got two cats. I got Gary and Boston. They're brother and sister. Boston, I got some poison cat food, and like it killed her. He survived it. She had renal failure. It was terrible, but she looked just like him, but instead of gray and white, she was black and white. But they never meowed. Like they just didn't know about meowing because they didn't have a mom cat, or they were abandoned orphan babies or whatever, bottle fed. And he never meowed ever. Had him for like 4 years, never meowed or something. I think I had him for about 4 years. Then I got the dog. The dog never shuts up. It's always barking. Bark, 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 bark. And the cat was just like, what is this creature that's always making this sound? You give it food when it barks? So then he was kind of like, meow. Like, I was like, whoa, I've never heard my cat meow in my life. Like, for years. Never meowed. Ever. And now he meows, like, just a little bit every once in a while. It's mainly when, like, his foot's caught. Like, he was caught on my sweatshirt and meowed. But... I just realized I've probably gone over an hour because I had the stream going beforehand. I think I'm going to make myself one more cup of coffee, and then, well, we can do that real quick. You see my dirty coffee. My dirty coffee pot. I definitely need to clean that. Definitely need to clean that. Put that on the list of things to do. But yeah, I'm gonna sign off. Thanks for stopping by for breakfast. Sorry it had to continue. I don't know what it dropped out. That's weird. The internet. So if I missed your comment, I apologize. If you meant to comment and you didn't, you should have commented. Let's see some RC. The G wagons in the studio. But yeah, not gonna film through there. The maid had the week off, so it's a little cobwebby over there. So yeah. I think that's the end of this one. I appreciate you guys watching. If you caught this on the re-upload, I'm glad you watched it. It's way more fun to watch it live because I try to read all the comments and give the best story I can think of to go along with it. So I actually thought about doing, maybe rather than just keep on doing cooking, I might try to set up a thing where I sit down and figure something out there. We'll see what happens. But I got things to do today, and I'm going to go do them. So you guys stay safe. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe. Peace.